Hi, you guys. It's Tara Boothby from Sojourn Psychology, and I'm here with Jessica from Philosophy Wellness and Integro Wellness Studios. And Jessica is a registered dietitian. She supports people in Sherwood Park and Edmonton area. So, Jessica, what would you say, or how would you describe your theory of diet?
So the most important thing for me when I'm working with clients is to help them develop a healthier relationship with food. So I often have clients coming in and asking for weight loss or what are the best foods out there and can you give me a plan? And because everyone is so individual, it's my job to work with those people and figure out what would work best for them without putting them in a harmful position.
Oh, cool. That makes a lot of sense. So each individual, you get a sense of who they are and what they really need to hone in on. So maybe a diabetic client would be different than somebody who just really has some poor eating habits, or a teenager.
Yeah, some of us have some medical issues that require medical nutrition intervention. So, for example, someone with diabetes might have to be more cautious of what types of carbohydrates or the amount of carbohydrates that they're eating. But really, everyone has to go through the same journey of learning learning a bit more about their food and then about what works for them. Because even each person with diabetes, for example, might be on a very different eating plan that works for them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess too, for you, what I've heard you speak about previously, and I really like it, is you take the focus with food, and it's not necessarily about weight loss, but it's about helping people to support a healthy diet.
Exactly. So we have a lot of evidence to show that our health isn't directly correlated to weight or weight loss. And often it's correlated to our habits or the weight itself, the stigma of weight itself, and the stress or the lack of diagnosis that comes along with being overweight. So instead of focusing on weight loss, we really focus on, okay, let's learn about food. Let's learn what foods have nutrition in them. Let's learn what foods we enjoy and how to create that balance so that we can bring everything together and follow healthy eating habits over a long term rather than a short term. Because the one thing I always tell people is if you can't implement a habit and see yourself maintaining that habit for at least 6 months, then it's not worth implementing. So for example, cutting out wine. If you can't see yourself cutting out wine for 6 months, then you probably shouldn't start by cutting out wine. You should figure out how to create a balance there.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I agree. I was just having a conversation with a friend about sustainable goals for eating and for exercise and how we can just get so over the top. And really, this trend right now, people are talking about like this pandemic eating, and we're all stressed out because we're eating junk when we sort of judge ourselves for it. What do you what do you philosophize about this pandemic eating?
Yeah, well, obviously there are some foods with more nutrition and there are some foods with less nutrition, but they all really do fit. And humans aren't meant to eat food just for fuel. Um, we eat for enjoyment, we eat for entertainment, we eat as part of a social circle and to connect with others. And in this pandemic, when we're feeling so isolated and alone, food might be the one thing that keeps our mental health in place, even if it's not the most nutritious food. So we can always take that one step forward and include more nutritious food, but it's probably not the right time to take away the foods that are so comforting and keeping us grounded.
Yeah, I think that is a really important message because judging ourselves for eating junk food or eating pie right now is not actually helping our mental health, and then it's not actually helping us to stop eating the pie.
Right. As the more we restrict, the more we tend to overdo it later and in secret. So we might say, oh, I'm not going to eat this in front of my friends, but then guess what we tend to eat later when we go home, right? But also, I like to point out that, you brought up pie. And pie, right now, people think of that as junk food. But you know, if you were on a desert island and you had to survive on pie, it's got some good nutrition in it. It's got fat, it's got vitamins and minerals, it's got fruit in there. Like, this is not a something that's void of nutrition. It just doesn't have as much nutrition as something else. So it's not like we're doing ourselves harm by having pie. It's that we have to include a variety of other things also that have more nutrition to balance it out.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I really do believe when we're having this conversation and we start to think about clean eating or these different other buzzwords, even still as North Americans, we just are so polluted about what is healthy, but really what is healthy is the sort of gimmicky, get skinny quick plans. And that's not necessarily sustainable like you're talking about.
Exactly. And even the latest fad diets or the latest commercial diets out there are now using different terminology. So they're saying like, oh, you should learn to eat intuitively. You should create better healthy lifestyle habits, etc. But they're all kind of masking our need to feel like we're restricting and losing weight. And really, healthful eating is just about having a good relationship with your food and also understanding that you're putting nutrition into your body. It's not meant to be restricting and weight loss. Yeah, so I really think if you develop a healthy relationship with food, your body weight will settle where your body means for it to be, where your genetics want it to be. And because there's not that yo-yo anymore.
I love that. And as somebody who loves a good diet, it's really refreshing to have somebody educated come at this from a different angle. So people, if you're interested in connecting with Jessica, I'm going to have her contact information down below. As well, if you have benefits, Jessica is a registered dietitian. So you may just have coverage to meet with her. And it sounds like this is a great conversation, something I would personally like to continue, and maybe some other people in the community would like that as well.
Well, I'm always posting stuff on Instagram about healthy relationships with food, so go over there and check it out, and hopefully we'll have another conversation soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica. Take care.
Thanks, Sarah. Bye.